I wonder if we could have a brief conversation about end times. End times is an interesting two words. It has a biblical connotation, if you will. The Bible talks about end times when evil overthrows or overcomes or overtakes good, and that is when mankind will disappear, if you will. Seems like we might be there if you look at where we are now. There's the end times. Also, kind of the same. Bucky Fuller said we might come to that place where the experiment called life on planet Earth comes to an end. There's other forms of what might be considered end times. Here in America, we could be at a place called end times, meaning the end of the United States of America as church and state. Meaning that part of America is done with. Church has taken over state. So now America is all church. We're the same as Saudi Arabia or Pakistan or the countries, let's call it God-driven, directed by God believers. So you could say that America is at end times as church and state, and maybe beginning times as church. So now the government can tell us all what to do, and well, they've been doing that for some time. Now they just could have a deeper hold on us. However, there's another consideration about end times. You could literally change the words end times to failure. In other words, you could notice that you have failed, meaning that's end times to whatever it was that you were doing. For instance, I failed in my first 36 years completely as a father, as a brother, as a business person, everything this world asks us to be. I failed 100% at. So I came to the place of end times in each of those domains, if you will. And the result of that, well, firstly it was death, the death of that which was, and then the birth of something new. Not to say that there's been a tremendous success, because it's pretty obvious that if you succeed in an insane world, then your success level shows your insanity level. They're the same. So, end times, again, is a interesting thing if you will convert it to failure. For instance, if you have been through a divorce, then you might, rather than blaming her or him or the other one, it's never your it's always the other person. Well, 99% of the time. But if you make it your failure, then it makes it end times for you as to failure in relationship. because only of one thing. You haven't blamed the other person. You have taken 100% responsibility for your own failure, or your end times, if you will. There's kind of it's a little bit strange to put those two things together. However, it could mean, end times could mean ending the times you're going to fail. The way that happens is you say you have failed. That gives you a entirely new space to create from. If you have created creation. There's a lot of different nuances here, lots of different things that need to be discovered. That's one of them, by the way. That nuance. So I wonder if each of us can or will admit our failure, thereby bringing forth end times. Do you see what that would, if you can see what that brings to an end, it brings failure to an end. It means to say you have failed. So it means end times, ending the failure. That is the manner in which you create a new slate, a new way of approaching, a new way of being, if you will, as a human being on planet Earth. One final suggestion here is we need to bring end times to what we have done thus far on planet Earth completely. End it, as in we have failed. Failure, or end times, if you will, is when evil overtakes good. And evil then rules the world. And evil is really only one thing. Evil is all wrapped up in, really, if you look at it directly, it's wrapped up in one word: lie. Lie is a failure, and truth is the truth. Not necessarily success, because the truth has an end to it when you discover the lie that's in the truth. Of course, the same thing can be said of a lie. A lie has, the smallest part of a lie is the truth, which is obviously, I have lied, is the smallest part of the lie, because that's the place where you speak the truth of your having lied. And if you'll notice, especially here in America, lie, which is belief, now rules, operates, is control of America. 20,000 lies in 3 or 4 years, whatever it's been. So lie now, lie, belief, now rules America. Will it continue? Will end times happen and remain? The manner in which you end times is you speak the truth of your failure. And as to United States, we have failed. We have a person who is dividing every part of us, and we fall for it. So the true possibility that we each have is to speak the truth that the United States of America is no longer, if it ever was, united. We are now divided, have been for our entire 242 years, so it's not a whole lot difference other than it is now complete. The bottom has risen to the top, so to speak. Now the slime is at the top. So we either see, admit end times, as in united, or we will remain divided. And obviously, divided we fall, or fail, whichever. At any rate, if each of you are at this point, then to you I send a perfect life. Good night.